Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Seen Beyond and Through with Monty. Right before you, I bet you're thinking you are looking at a white woman. Yeah, I can kind of see it if I didn't know who it was. But do you know who she is? Well, let's get into this story right here, okay? Because this particular lady right here is Stacy Loretta Dash, born in 1967 in the Bronx, New York. Now, I wanted to do a video on Stacy because she has a very interesting story, and I wanted to give you some things in which I dug up. This was from an arrest that happened from beating one of her husbands. Actually, she's been married 4 times, and it was her fourth husband who divorced her. But curiously enough, look under the red line, race, it says W, which means white. Look at the bottom of that. It says race W, which means white. Okay, does she look white? Can she pass for a white woman there? Some will say yes, others will say no. But there it is, a little more clear there. What I wanted to bring up about Stacy Dash, I want to do a video on being uncomfortable with oneself, having a form of self-hatred about yourself, and how it can affect generations. You'll follow me. You'll see what I'm talking about. Here's Stacy right there. I mean, very light skinned, hair that's very straightened, colored. But she did not always look like this. We all first got a glimpse of her from Clueless, many of us. And then I remembered her from the Kanye West video. What was this song called? They All Fall Down? I guess that was one of the lyrics in it. But Clueless is her most well-known role, where she played Dion Davenport and made her a star. But this was Stacy in an earlier photo pic. What do they call it? Headshot. Looking very differently right here. Looking very more like a black girl. You can't really mistake her for being white. She doesn't look ambiguous at all. Look at this one right here. She looks very different there. I don't even think that you would know who she was, to be honest with you. Wider nose, beautiful, beautiful skin, curly hair that's dark. Eyes even look darker. It appears to me that she's wearing some type of lighter colored contact lenses. But that's to be expected when you have self-hatred. Here she is right there. Doesn't look ambiguous to me at all. Look very beautiful with the chocolate skin. But let's see where we're going to take this. Does it stay that way? Remember when she first came out? I remembered her reading about her on Ethnic Celebrities. And she had mentioned that, just go down to the 1, 2, 3, 4, the fourth line, towards the end. She said her mother was Aztec Indian and her dad from West Indies. That's what they said, ethnic celebrities. Aztec Indian and her dad is from the West Indies. All of a sudden, she started representing or repping Mexico very proudly. And she started singing a different tune than her mother being Aztec Indian or her dad from being Barbados. Stacy Dash on Twitter. My mother was Mexican. Build the wall. This is when she was a big Trump supporter. Being half Mexican is not stopping Stacy Dash from supporting Trump. So when she was supporting Trump, she went to making claims that she was half Mexican. Now we're going to explore this. I believe that she was saying that she's half Mexican because she was a supporter of building the wall, a supporter of Trump's anti-immigrant stance. And I think it was a deflection tool that she used to make it seem like she didn't have anything against Mexicans or anything against immigrants, or that she was bigoted. So being half Mexican is not stopping Stacey Dash from supporting Trump. Watch. Now, to me, if you're half Mexican, I get it that Mexico is a country. Mexicans could be black, they could be white, they could be Indian, they could be Asian, they could be a mixture of a combination of different things. But I believe what Stacey Dash is referring to, though, is a race. But Mexico or Mexican is not really a race. But I do believe that she was trying to differentiate half black and half something else. And that something else is being Mexican. Now, we here in California, or probably all over America, we traditionally know what a Mexican is. And most Mexicans, let's be honest, are not black. Most Mexicans are not Asian. Most Mexicans are not pure Indian. They tend to be a mixture of Spanish, Indian, with some black in them. But let's see what Stacey Dash is talking about. Here's her mother. Her mother's last name is Lopez. Now, when she first came out, she was saying that her mother, Linda Dash Lopez, was Aztec Indian. Now, she's saying that her mother is Mexican. Does she look traditionally what a Mexican is? Or does she look really like a half black female, someone who's black but with the mixture? I'm going to go with a black female with a mixture because there's a lot of black women who look like this. And interestingly enough, she looks more like Stacey Dash today as to what Stacey Dash looks like, right now, if that makes any sense. But let's move on. Here's her mother and here's her dad. That's baby Stacy in the middle. Here they go again. And here's her mother again. So would you say Mexican, traditional Mexican, or a black woman who has some type of Mexican in her? Or I was going to say Hispanic, Latin in her. Here's her dad. No doubt about that, he's black. Dash. And here's a picture of an older man. And I was wondering who that was. Then I found out that he's her grandfather. Now, remember when Stacey Dash said her mother was Aztec Indian at first and then her mother's Mexican? Let's explore this right there. Here's her dad or granddad when he was younger. Now, he looks to me to be very ambiguous there, and I tried to bring some color to the picture. He looks to me to be a mixture of something himself. His last name is Lopez. I would not say that he's Mexican, even though Mexicans can have, most of them do have some black in them. Keep that in mind. Most of them do have some black in them. There are black Mexicans, but the vast majority are not black. Most of them do have some black in them. Percentages can range anywhere from 3, 5, 7%, 12%. So if this is her mother's dad, which he looks to me to have some black in him, I think that her mother, to me, let's go back there, would be more black because she's inherited more black from her father, only from his side. Now her mother, her mother I've not seen. Is probably most likely a black woman. That would make Stacey Dash majority black. So I don't know why she's foolishly going around claiming that she's half Mexican, knowing that your granddad right here doesn't look full Mexican. Traditionally, people is what I'm talking about. He looks to be a mixture of something. And your mother right there is not even half Mexican. I would doubt it. Here's Stacey Dash, earlier headshot. Here she is right there, looking very black. Doesn't look ambiguous at all. So here she is with that arrest picture. Now her skin tone has changed dramatically. And I'm sure that is some type of filter they might have used or lighting. But her nose has changed too. We know what that's about. Here's her brother. Does he look biracial to you? No, they look like regular to me, lighter shades of brown, black people. But, and here's her cousin, Dame Dash. Through all her rhetoric or Trump supporting conservative leanings, they don't talk now. But hopefully they will mend it back up. I want to bring this out to you. She's been married 4 times to Brian Lavelle, James Mabby, Emmanuel Exarub, Jeffrey Marty. All of these men are white. You see right there where the self-hatred comes in? All of these men are white. However, her first baby's daddy is Christopher Williams. He's very fair-skinned. She strikes someone who probably had very rough dealings with black men, who was not really treated right, and who decided I'm just going to date white. But as you can clearly see right here, 4 marriages to white men, that didn't work out well neither. Many times when you have bad dealings with black men, you should look at yourself and maybe you should date differently. You have to pick people differently. I don't think the answer is to just go full white, because you end up having the same problems. Because you start giving people the benefit of the doubt strictly because they are white. Here's one of her husbands. Here's another one. And here's the one in which she was arrested for domestic violence. I guess she was too violent for him, so he chose to dump her and divorce her. This is where the mugshot came in. And I heard that on her driver's license it has white. Now, she must be aware of that. I mean, she's the only one who could have put that there if that's really the case. But on the mugshot picture, you can clearly see it did have white. So I'm thinking they must have taken that from her driver's license. Now, here's a picture of her granddad right there. Of her mother. You can see the eyes right there. Look at her eyes, her mother's eyes, and look at her granddad's eyes. So if her mother is part Mexican and some other race, particularly black, how does that make Stacy Dash part black or mixed or part Mexican? It doesn't. Now here's her mother right there. You can clearly see that she's a mixture of something. I would not say that she's traditionally what we consider Mexican. So Stacy Dash basically is someone who's very uncomfortable with herself, self-hatred, who wishes that she was probably a different race or color. Now here's her son right here that she had with Christopher Williams. She's latching onto him, and I bet she's glad that he's very fair-skinned, very light, almost white. But I want you to pay attention to something carefully. Look at his hair. Remember, when you have self-hatred, when you're very uncomfortable with yourself, when you're not really sure of yourself, you're not proud of your blackness, when you claim something else, look what happens though. See his hair right there? Look at his beautiful curly hair that he once had right there. Look at it now. See how there's certain things that you can pass on to your children, where you can make them not like certain affectations or features or things about themselves? To me, speaking, this particular hair is beautiful. Curly hair, kinky hair, hair that stands straight up, that goes up to the heavens, is beautiful. But look at this. He got it bopped. He got it straightened out. I mean, he's looking like a full-fledged white boy. And his mother, Stacy Dash, is not a white female. His dad is R&B singer Christopher Williams. Christopher doesn't have hair like that. I mean, I would not even think that this is his son, to be honest with you. Looking like this here. So this is what happens. You start to covet children to look a certain way. And you don't mind it when they change their features, their hair, when they get their skin lightened, because you like that. That's what you're about. I wonder what Christopher Williams thinks about his son with hair like that. Who knows? It could be a phase that he's going through. It could be something that he picked up from his mother. But particularly, I don't think it looks good. I don't think it looks better than his natural hair that he had. I mean, he looks almost. If he was not with her, I would say he's a white guy. That's mainly because of the hair. Light skinned people who could almost pass, if they got their hair straightened out, they can pass. Here's her daughter. Obviously biracial. But sometimes this is not an accident. Many times with people with self-hatred or who are very uncomfortable with themselves or uncomfortable being black, they will deliberately seek out to have mixed race or biracial children. So what is she going to do when her daughter gets older? You have to wonder, is she going to put contact lenses in her eyes? Really? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me that her daughter's soon to be, when she gets to be a teenager, I don't know when this picture was taken. If she's not a teenager right now, I'm pretty sure this hair is going to be straightened out. Stacy has hair straightened out. It used to be very curly because her mother likes straight hair. So she's probably going to emulate and learn from her mother. That is a form of not accepting yourself, or it can go into a form of being uncomfortable with certain things, features, attributes in which you have. Look at Stacy right there. Straight hair, light skin. Looks like she done some bleaching. But obviously she was not happy with who she once was. Stacy Dash, look at this. Stacy Dash apologizes for being the angry conservative black woman at Fox News. I've seen the interview. You guys can see it. All of a sudden now, she's no longer mixed or biracial or half Mexican. She's black now. So here's what I do not like about people like Stacy Dash. When she first came out on Clueless, when she was in the Kanye West video, she got her start within the black community. She got her start being a black actress, not a biracial actress. She was black, black, black. She got famous being a black actress. All of a sudden, when she becomes more popular, she becomes biracial. She's half Mexican. All of a sudden, when she gets into trouble, she gets fired by Fox. She gets arrested for beating her fourth husband. She gets dumped and divorced by her fourth husband. She hits rock bottom and she crawls back to the black community. They all do that because they know that we're very forgiving people. Sometimes I believe that black people are too forgiving to a fault. Former Fox News contributor Stacy Dash arrested for domestic violence charges. Look at her right there. So she went from this to this. Amazing how she believes that this looks better than this right here. She went from having dark skin, dark curly hair, very thick, looked like brown eyes, to having light skin, lighter colored eyes, straight hair, streaks of blonde in it, because she somehow believes that that's more attractive, more beautiful, or that it's better for some strange reason. And people like Stacy Dash, had she would have embraced being black, she would have probably had a longer, more successful career in Hollywood. Had she would have embraced the black community more so, she would have had a much more successful career. But sometimes when you deny who you really are, I truly believe that that's a curse. I truly believe that you're bringing bad upon yourself. Look at what she's done to, her children. If you're not proud of being black, they surely are not going to be. Her first son with Christopher Williams is black. It seems like he's trying to get away from that. Her daughter's mixed, but still in all, with mixed comes with curly hair though. Is she going to be teaching her daughter that no, your hair looks better straight? These are things that you're passing on to your children, that they see certain things like this. They're not being taught to embrace who they are, whether they're light-skinned black, whether they're biracial black, or whether they just identify as biracial. They're being taught to embrace and be more accepting of a white standard of beauty. And that's such a shame right there, that she believes this type of a look, the lighter skin, the straighter hair, the lighter colored eyes, streaked with blonde, the hair streaked with blonde, is a much more beautiful look. And when in actuality, where has it gotten her in Hollywood? It hasn't gotten her anywhere. She has not been more successful with this look right here. She's not an A-lister. It just goes to show you, had she would have embraced being black, be more accepting of being black, and revealed in being black, she would have had a much more successful, sustainable career. But she brought into this notion, darker skin, darker colored eyes, dark hair that's curly, is somehow less attractive than this here. And what it's gotten her is just hardship. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you beyond and through.